This winter, there are some big fashion trends that need to be avoided at all cost. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what they are, and I'm going to help you save some money in more ways than one. Hi, I'm Leonie and welcome back to my channel. You guys like these sorts of videos, and I am once again going to go out on a limb and share some of my top fashion tips with you, and in particular, which trends that you need to avoid. Most of us just can't afford to have our money hanging in our wardrobe and not being worn. So this video is all about making sure that you don't make some of those costly mistakes. If you like these sorts of videos, please give this one a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, and let's get on with these trends. The first trend that I want to kick off with today is the trend of wearing pants, and I'm talking wide leg pants tucked into boots. I've seen this look described as putting a funky twist on a classic outfit, but in my mind there's nothing funky. Well, hang on, maybe it is funky, but not in a good way. I just don't think that this is a particularly good look, and the idea of stuffing some gorgeous trousers into boots is just so unappealing to me. I don't think that this look is one that translates well to real life. Often some of these trends work well on the runway, but when it comes to a practical application and them looking fashion forward and chic in real life, it just doesn't seem to pan out that way. So for that reason, stuffing your wide-legged trousers and pants into boots is perhaps on trend, but it's not going to fly in my book. I'm thinking that this look may be a little controversial, so I'd love to hear from you what you think of this trend. Do you think it's a good look? Do you think it's practical? Will you be wearing it? Please let me know in the comments below. Now's a great time to also say a big thank you to the team at ShopTagger for sponsoring today's video. If you're an OG here on my channel, you'll know that I've worked with ShopTagger before, and ShopTagger is an amazing free app that has helped me save lots of money over the years when I shop online. So it's absolutely free, and all you need to do is download the ShopTagger browser button, and that sits on your toolbar. So when you're browsing and shopping online and you see something that takes your fancy, you just click the little button and it will save that item into ShopTagger. You can create lists for easy finding, and when an item goes on sale, ShopTagger notifies you via email or push notifications on your phone. So when it goes on sale, you will not miss out. You can use ShopTagger on your desktop or your mobile phone, which makes it really convenient. It also has the latest coupon code, so you don't have to trawl the net looking for an up-to-date coupon code, which is really handy. ShopTagger also has a really cool new cashback feature, which basically means that some items that you're shopping for will qualify for this cashback feature, and then you will receive a percentage of what you've paid for the item back. So it's money back in your pocket. I'll leave a link to ShopTagger in the description box below so you can download it and start saving money when you're shopping online too. Now, don't get me wrong, I love shoulder pads, but there are shoulder pads and then there are shoulder pads, and this season we've gone right back to the 80s and the shoulder pads are supersized. In fact, a lot of trends this season are supersized. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe designers have felt that we've been sort of hidden and locked away for so long, we need to come out and be big and bold. But I think that these supersized shoulder pads, while they do give you shape and a lovely structure to an outfit, they are just overwhelming. I can really see the appeal with shoulder pads. They do create an amazing structural effect. They create a real focal point of the outfit, and they do help outfits and jackets and blazers drape nicely on the body. So I do love shoulder pads, but just not extreme shoulder pads. I think they basically just take over and become the main focal point of any outfit. They arrive before you arrive, and for that reason I just think that they are too overwhelming on most people. Houndstooth was a print that dominated the runways, and I'm sure we'll be seeing that hitting the stores as well. What did happen on the runway was a really bold, large houndstooth. So as I said, things seem to be supersized this season, and hopefully we'll see some classic houndstooth as well, because I think this is always a sophisticated, beautiful, tailored, classic look. But the supersized version is, in my opinion, one that will date quite quickly. It's a little bit faddish. It's a trend that may be here for one season and one season only. So if you are looking at investing in a print and you particularly love houndstooth, then just make sure that you opt for one that's a little bit more pared back and a little bit more minimal, because it will be a piece that will be timeless and you'll be able to wear it for seasons to come, as opposed to a little bit of a one season wonder, which I think that the supersized print will be. Chunky track sole boots look amazing on the runway, and I'm sure again we'll be seeing them in store. Yes, they're incredibly practical, and you guys know that I love fashion that's practical and sensible and wearable, but they'll be here for one season and one season only. So if you want a chunky style boot this season and you need to invest, I'd go for something more pared back, like a classic chunky biker boot, not the fully fledged trucker sole that we will be seeing everywhere. It is just extreme, and it is just a trend that will be here for a good time, not a long time. Patchwork is another big trend this winter, and in fact it was in fashion last winter, and I'm sure I included it in my what not to wear last winter, and I couldn't not include it again. I think patchwork can look, once again, amazing on the runway, but worn in real life, it can just look a little dowdy and a little homespun. I know I'm going to come under fire for this, and sorry in advance, but it is just a trend that I think is very hard to pull off and make look classy. So if that's the look you're after, patchwork is one that you need to steer clear of. Quilting is also set to be a hot trend for winter. But again, I just think that this trend is very difficult to wear, and it's very unflattering on most body types. So in fall, we saw the first installment of quilted pieces. So mainly we saw quilted skirts popping up, and what we can expect to see in the coming weeks and months is more quilted pieces in the form of jackets, blazers, coats. Now maybe a quilted coat is going to cut it because you'll be super snuggly and warm, but anything quilted is obviously going to add lots of extra volume, and it's very hard to create a well-proportioned, flattering outfit. So keep that in mind when you're looking at quilted pieces when you're out and about. Statement collars may be a great thing when it comes to Zoom meetings, but in day-to-day life, I just don't think that they cut it. In my mind, they look way too theatrical, and they just don't look smart and stylish and fashion forward. We've seen these statement collars before, and they didn't cut it then. I don't think they cut it now. I'm picking that a lot of you will actually love the statement collars, so please let me know in the comments below if you're a statement collar fan and a exaggerated collar fan. But I'm saying no, because there's not a practical application for these collars unless you're having Zoom meetings and you're making a statement with them. But again, I just think that they are not particularly fashion forward. We've seen them before, and they're just too theatrical, and I think they belong on the stage and not on the sidewalk. This winter we're seeing coats and blazers being belted and nipped in at the waist with a slightly chunky belt. Now, let me explain why this look has made it onto my what not to wear list. If coats and jackets and blazers have been designed and cut to be worn belted, they generally work. They will be designed to accommodate that belt, and they're slightly shaped in at the waist. What we run the risk of doing is adding a chunky belt to our existing pieces that weren't cut to incorporate a belt, and what we end up with is the jacket, the blazer, the coat not sitting well within that belt. And that, in my mind, is where it gets a little tricky, when things are just not sitting how they're meant to sit. The other reason that this look has made it onto my what not to wear list is because it's not universally flattering. This is one of the trends that can look amazing in a magazine or on the runway or worn by a model, but it just is a very tricky one to translate into everyday life. I really wish it wasn't that hard because it is such a great look when it's done well, but it is a difficult one to get right, and for that reason, I think we should avoid it. The next trend that we need to say goodbye to is logos. Now, I'm sure a lot of you will be quite happy about this. When I've talked about logos in the past on my channel, a lot of you don't like wearing logos. You don't like the idea of free advertising for a brand, and I so get that. I have worn logos over the years and enjoyed them, but I think that they have seen better days. And I think logos are now being replaced, certainly from what I see happening, they are being replaced with more simple, pared back, minimal design. So I think we can say goodbye to logos, and I'm sure, I'm picking, a lot of you guys will be very happy about that. If you are, let me know in the comments below. This next trend is a bit of a funny one, and one that I don't actually have a really good reason other than the fact that I just don't particularly like it and don't think it's a very versatile look. But knitted vests are back in fashion for winter, and yes, they're incredibly practical and they're sensible, and that's possibly why I don't particularly like them. They will keep you warm, but they're not overly fashion forward. In my opinion, they're just a little bit too buttoned up and a bit too preppy and proper. And I suppose I like to have a little bit more fun with fashion, and these are too practical, which is kind of crazy coming from me, but in my mind they're just too practical, and I think we just should give them a miss. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd love you to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.